I've never heard of a connection to a device like that, especially a hardwired connection being too weak. That's so odd.
Yeah, I tried to play the game. It says try another USB port or cable. We see your external storage, but the connection is too weak to use. And I've tried all 3 ports.
So it's probably that the hard drive is having an issue?
But I haven't done anything to the hard drive, and I was playing just fine yesterday.
Yeah, that's weird. How long have you had it?
Probably it's definitely got to be at least 3 years because I got it at the old Target I used to work at. The good thing is I can play Halo. So we should be okay tonight with that. It's just like after that, like PSO2 would be on my hard drive, on my external hard drive. And if I can't play that, then if I can't use it, then I can't play that. I can't play probably 80% of my games that I have because they're all on the external.
Fun.
And
So
I don't know if I get another external, if the connection will be strong enough to then be able to
I mean, if the
swap
problem
them
is
over to that external.
if the problem is the hard drive, then that would be the solution. Would be a new hard drive. But if you get another hard drive and it doesn't fix it, then the problem isn't the hard drive. The problem is something else. Either the cable or the Xbox itself.
hey, let's also talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday stuff that we did.
But yeah, that's probably. I want to try to get a cable first to see. It'll be the cheaper solution than a hard drive. All new drive.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
Always troubling. There. I think at some point I will have to redesign the overlay. I've just been incredibly incapable of focusing on any of those design projects lately. Alright, I'm gonna call in the bot. The bot will work. Totally. This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game. Hello and welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. I'm your host Tristan, aka Shagwazir.
I'm Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
And I'm Joseph, aka AJ Dunlap.
And Malachi said that he was going to be busy. I was hoping he would put a message, but he let me know by phone at least.
Phoned you on the telephone.
On the telly. It's probably the same thing.
The telly.
Alex. I wanted to give you the chance to be as specific as you wanted about your Xbox woes. Does that mean that we can't go back and finish the Master Chief Collection stuff if we wanted to tonight?
No, like I said, we could play the Halo stuff because that's disc-based. And it's on my internal storage. But 80% 80 to 85% of my games are on the external, and so something like PSO2 or Sea of Thieves
No, Sea of Thieves!
is going to be on my external.
But I want to play more Sea of Thieves.
Well, looks like unless something magically happens overnight, or I get a cable and it works, then it's not going to happen for a little bit, because then I'd have to get another external, which would be the fourth external that I'd have to get then.
That sounds like a bad track record.
Yeah, so the one I have, I got. I bought one, tried it out. Apparently, something was wrong with it that it didn't even want to turn on, so I returned it. Got a different one. Same thing happened with the second one. It didn't want to turn on, so I returned that. Got a third one. This is the one that I'm currently on, and it actually turned on, like it lit up and was whirring and everything. But it always had a message whenever like I turned on the Xbox saying that the connection was weak. Try another USB port or cable, but it always let me play the games still.
Do you have any idea if it's USB 2.0 versus 3.0?
It is a USB 3.0.
And the cable is definitely a USB 3.0 cable.
Yes, it is a 3.0. It even has, I still have the little tag on the cable saying that it's a USB 3.0 that can convert to 2.0.
Okay, just because it sounds like that message to me sounds like the kind of error you'd get if you were utilizing a 3.0 port and plugging a 2.0 device into it. And it would tell you, hey, this device can perform faster.
Yep. Here. Let's see. I can't reach it.
I wonder if maybe the Xbox,
Yes,
it seems unlikely, but
it says on the thing, USB 3.0 compatible with USB 2.0.
So it's a USB 2.0 device that can be plugged into a 3.0.
I mean, it sounds like it's a USB 3.0 that can be plugged into a 2.0. It's a Type 3 cable.
It's blue?
Yes.
Okay.
The end on the USB side is blue.
Okay. And is the thing that you're plugging it into on the Xbox, is that blue, white, or black?
The where I'm plugging it in?
Yeah, on the port on the Xbox, is the inside that blue, white, or black?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Because I've never looked at my USB ports on the Xbox, so I have no idea what they are.
Surprise!
It's black, because I don't really see a different color.
Interesting. Hi, Malachi. I didn't know that you were going to show up. How you doing?
I didn't know either, but I have a moment, so I thought I'd hop in, do a surprise.
We're trying to figure out why Alex's hard drive for his Xbox has decided it doesn't want to work anymore.
Well, it's also probably where the older Xbox is mechanical. It could be just the age of it just giving out.
This is an external hard drive.
Hey, is it a mechanical or solid state?
Probably it's a spinning disk, right?
I believe it's a solid state.
That's really weird. It'd give you trouble then.
It's whirring? You said it made noise. Solid states don't make noise.
Not like a whole ton of noise. It's probably more just like the sound of like cooling and all that.
No, solid state. I have a terabyte solid state, and it makes no noise at all. It just has a flashy light. That's it.
Yeah, sure on the box. I don't have the box anymore, but I'm pretty sure on the box it says
It's
solid state.
probably a spinning disc. Spinning disc, solid state's like 5 times as expensive as spinning
It's
disc.
not. No, it's not like you have to get like super freaking close to actually literally put your ear to it.
Okay, if you say so.
It does say here that the Xbox One should have 3 USB 3.0 ports, 2 on the rear and 1 that's either on the front or the side.
The side.
Well, yeah, the kids have lots.
I would have imagined that 3.0 ports, especially on a device made by Microsoft, would be blue.
Wait, what do you say?
I'm not seeing blue.
Yeah, that's what's weird, because
For you-
3.0 is standardized to always be blue.
I agree, that is correct. All my ports that are 3.0 are blue on my components.
So why would they install a USB 3.0 port into a Microsoft-built console and not have it be blue?
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's really weird.
It probably will.
Well, it depends, because when you make the hard drive for or set it up for an Xbox, it doesn't have to format it in Xbox settings to do you think it doesn't recognize that it's an Xbox hard drive now? It's just being stupid, or I don't know. What's happening with it? It's just doing nothing.
It comes up with the message every time I try to start a game that is from the external.
Right.
Try another USB port or cable. We see your external storage, but the connection is too weak to use, which is a message that has always come up from it, but it has always been at the beginning, like when I start up the Xbox, but then I was always able to still play the games.
Huh. Interesting.
And I was playing just last night a game that used the external.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, I've been listening to this, but I just don't have any I don't have any solid answers here. It's just very strange.
Well, I've been talking to another buddy about it, and I mean, what I'm gonna do is just I gotta find another cable and try that, and if it doesn't work, then it's something with the drive. I just hope if it is something with the drive that I will be able to transfer the games over from the drive to the new drive.
That would be ideal. I don't know what storage system the Xbox uses, but it would surprise me if it wasn't the same as like a Windows system, an NTFS arrangement. So I would bet that you could still plug the Xbox configured hard drive into a regular computer and be able to visually manage it. You know, just plug them both in and just drag and drop stuff.
Possibly.
So, what else are we talking about today?
You wanted to talk about your tech weekend, Cyber Friday and Black Monday.
I think you got them mixed up. I think it's Cyber Friday and Black Monday.
That sounds right to me. No, wait, no. It's definitely Cyber Friday and Black Monday.
I think it's Black Monday and Cyber Friday.
Sure.
It's all in the same week.
Malachi, what is it? We need help.
But he's going to help us.
I don't participate in this thing, especially with COVID now, so I just completely ignore it. If I happen to be on Steam or something that does this stuff, I just grab it then, but I don't pay attention to the dates.
Yeah.
So I can't give you a solid answer of dates. Sorry.
Well, let me tell you my story, and then Alex can talk about theirs. But my story is kind of a long one. So I had various reasons why we weren't able to do Valinaria for a few weeks, but a minor reason was that I broke my monitor. So I was using a backup monitor, and I couldn't do the 2 monitor setup to stream from.
Yikes.
So Uh, our plan all along was when Black Friday hit, I was going to get some 1080p TVs, 24-inch for the computer as monitors because they're super duper cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, got two in place of the really nice gaming monitor that now doesn't work. And then on Steam this past weekend, they had a really good sale for various games, and something that had been on my wish list for a while was Halo Wars and the Witcher series. So I got both of those. So that's been really, really nice. And I downloaded all of them, and The Witcher, I've already put together graphics mods and quality of life mods ready to go for when I play, and I've already started the first one.
Nice.
Tristan, you said you have the entire trilogy, but you haven't seen the first or second one firsthand yet.
Yeah, it's true. I have all of them, but I have not installed or played the first two. I kind of want to, but at the same time, now that I'm finally 150 hours in and done with the third one, I'm just like, I don't know if the mechanics and graphics are going to live up. Like, even if I set aside my future brain and go, the graphics are fine as they are, I feel like what I've learned from playing other game series is mechanics improve from game to game as they realize, this didn't work great, or players didn't like that much. If we tweak it like this, it's a bit better. And so I know that by the third one, fighting and casting and all those kind of mechanics are going to be pretty darn good, but they might not feel as good in the first one, so I haven't committed my hard drive space to the game to try it out yet.
If you were able to describe the combat system and movement commands of The Witcher 3 in like 30 seconds, what would it be?
Very smooth. When you get within range of a hostile enemy, he automatically goes into a fighting stance and draws the proper sword for what is aggressing him. And then as you move about, you can dip, dive, and dodge or block attacks with simple button presses, and the camera flows pretty nicely around, allowing you to keep up a very steady stream of attacks, blocks, and spellcasting.
Okay, a few questions. Do you have buttons that you hit for different fighting styles?
No. He pretty much has fast attack, heavy attack, and then if you double tap a direction, he will sidestep in that direction, or if you hit jump in a direction, he will do a dive roll.
Okay, fast attack and heavy attack, that's part of the first one, but he also has a attack he can use when he's fighting groups of weak enemies, like a sweep attack, and he switches between those. How do you do movement? Because in the first one, you click where you want him to run.
Oh goodness! No, this is like third person over the shoulder where you use WASD.
You can use WASD in the first one, but the camera is sluggish to follow you. You can't control the camera. So clicking to go somewhere is more effective.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, no, the third one, the mouse is the camera, and by default, it's set to very high sensitivity, so you can spin to look at things behind you very quickly. And this is a good way of controlling who you're focusing on and how you're fighting.
You have to click on the enemy to attack them.
And when you click the mouse, it swings your sword.
Yeah, so that's annoying because, at least in the first one, you have to click precisely on the polygons of the enemy, because if you miss, and you click on like half inch off to the side or whatever, then you miss. Or rather, it doesn't swing.
Yeah, no, this is like, it's very fluid in that, if I click with the left click, he swings the sword wherever he's pointing, or if there's an enemy very close, he will automatically turn toward them and swing at them, and the only question is, am I close enough to hit them? And you can cover distances pretty quickly. You can also start swinging knowing that eventually your combo will get you over to them. And right-clicking will cause you to block.
You do combo, so that's still a thing.
So yeah, I mostly just hold a direction, whatever direction is toward the enemy, and click when I'm close, and then I can just kind of, I mostly just use fast attack, so I just kind of keep a quick clicking, and then I'm watching for what signs are available that I can use in battle. Mostly I use the shield sign, And so when my shield breaks, I'm waiting for my stamina to come back so I can throw up another shield.
The difficulty I have in the first one is I want to do combos, but in order to swing the sword, I have to click exactly on the game asset that is my enemy.
That is...
If I miss, I don't swing.
Yeah, that
There
sounds
goes the
struggly. That sounds really struggly. I can just click anywhere on the screen, and as long as there are enemies around, he will start attacking toward one of them. If I face my camera and push the direction, I can guarantee I'll get them.
Oh, so here's a fun thing. So, I was looking through mods, and there was one that said "Sex takes time." That was the name of the mod.
Oh, gosh!
And the premise of it was apparently, because I hadn't played it yet, apparently someone goes, "Hey, big boy," and then he's like, "Sup," and then it go, I don't know, fades to black or something, and then they're still standing there. It's a BioWare game, so I assumed fade to black. So what actually happens...
I should warn you that 3 is very much not fade to black, and there is an excessive amount of nudity, so don't play it with the kids around.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
This is more like BET love-making scenes, where it's all very hazy, and then everything's covered by a playing card with a lewd photo. But then if you don't have the mod Sex Takes Time, at the end of it, they're just standing there where they had been the whole time, which I imagine, in my headcanon, that there's people standing nearby slack-jawed like, did that just happen?
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be that they went somewhere and came back. In 3, it's usually pretty well established where you go and what goes on when these scenes come up, because they're all choices, and all these choices happen with people who are important to the story. And almost every one of them is tied to some trigger in whatever mission set you're on. So if you choose to, get it on with somebody, it's usually tied to, okay, you're going to spend the night with them. When the thing ends, it's going to be the next morning, and usually they've stolen something from you, and now you have to go track them down.
So the mod makes it to where at the end of the scene, at the end of the cinematic of haziness, you're standing in a nearby building, and then you have a short conversation where they've typed the text of what the person says, but there's no voice acting, and then he responds with generic voice acting like, I agree, or something.
Oh, boy. Yeah, no, I just know, hearing this, I'm just like, I don't think I could go back to 1 and 2. Like, 3 is just... everything's voice acted. There's no text that you ever have to worry about. The whole thing is 100% voice acted.
It's a mod, though, so they can't add in voice acting.
Oh, I see what you're saying then. I thought you were saying that, like, a lot of the game was like that.
The reply to the modded text is then the voice acted character saying, yeah, I agree, this was nice, or whatever, something they found in the game files.
Yeah. Okay.
But the funny thing is that this particular scene was, I was just going around, and this lady goes, last time I saw a traveler, he gave me flowers. Do you have flowers for me? And you give her flowers, and she's like, he also said I was fetching. And then you click one button, and bam. I was like, okay.
I mean, so one thing that one must accept about the Witcherverse is that there is exactly 2 reactions to Geralt of Rivia, and nothing in between. Either people go, you're a mutant, we don't want you around, and we're going to kill you, despite that we know from the stories of Witchers that you're armed and dangerous, but we're going to try anyway. Or, damn, you're sexy looking fine, let's go bang it out. And those are the only 2 responses to your presence.
That's amazing.
It's so odd. It suffers a bit from the source material being what it is. But also, it's just one of those power fantasy kind of things.
I will say there's a charm to playing the first one, but I think I'm doing it correctly where I'm not starting at number 3.
Yeah, I've definitely spoiled myself, and if I try to go back to 1 and 2, I'll probably be unhappy. I'm very interested in the stories, because there's so much allusion to the events of those stories in the third one, without like telling me exactly all the things that happened or knowing all the impact and implications of all the things. And so now I'm like, I want to know, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm ready for the investment of finding out.
You should probably just go find a glitchless speed run of the main storyline.
Yeah, could be the way to do it. 3 is very rewarding, though. It's very pretty. It's all very well voice acted. The mechanics are good. There are very few parts of the game where I was like, man, this sucks. Very few parts of the game, and it's really the story I found for the vast majority of the game is very well done. There were several scenes where I'd go, we're really embracing the chauvinism here, but they were few and far enough in between that I'm like, there is progress, because the source material was incredibly chauvinistic. So there was progress. They kept some of it, unfortunately, but for the most part, it doesn't play in, at least not as heavily as in the books.
It can be difficult to adapt source material and catch everything.
It can. I would say that they've done a decent job of taking important things from the source material and leaving aside things that don't translate well into the modern world, aren't necessary. I think that a thread that I recently followed and shared a lot on Twitter is one thing I'd like to see more. Is that in the books there is a point in the books where Geralt is severely injured, and even after recovering from these injuries, he's left with chronic pain, and has to stop several times throughout the subsequent books because his joints are giving him trouble from these injuries. That isn't in the games at all. He doesn't have this chronic problem in the games. And people who do suffer from these chronic problems were saying, hey, this was a big thing in the books, and it would be interesting to have a hero in a modern story represent us who have chronic pain and chronic illness and things like that, and we feel like you're erasing it. And so I followed and shared this thread a lot because it was a really good theme. We do need more diversity in our heroes, and to leave that off of Geralt is to leave an entire part of who he is out, and to ignore an entire subgroup of your audience behind.
Reach. What is Alex listening to?
I'm not listening to anything.
Oh, maybe it's that loud fan you said.
There is no fan.
Well, I'm hearing something. I don't know.
I heard a
Alex,
fan. I don't know who it came from.
For all the sales?
I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
That now I can't play because of my
Not nice.
external
Suckage.
But yeah, I got the gold versions, which was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, all the DLC, and then it also gave me Assassin's Creed 3 remastered for $24.99, which was like 60% of what the normal price is. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I mean, I haven't played the Assassin's Creeds in a while. I played the first 2, got kind of a little tired of it. Tried Revelation, did the intro mission, didn't want to play it anymore. Played half of 3, and
was 3 the Colonial America one?
Yes, that was the Revelation one. But I figured I'd give Assassin's Creed another try since they kind of changed things up with Odyssey a little bit. But then my friend was also saying that he thought technically that Black Flag was the best one in his opinion, and I saw Black Flag was only $9, so I went and got that too.
I played a little.
And then my Black Friday purchase was it wasn't really a Black Friday purchase because it wasn't on sale, but I wanted them, so I got them.
I saw that No Man's Sky was half off, but I'm not ready to get it for even half off just yet. I'm waiting for it to be like $20 or something. But I really do want to play it because Tristan's really talked it up.
It's gotten really good lately, and I know that I saw an ad on Twitter earlier today saying that they're adding a whole bunch more functionality right now that a new patch is going out, and it's totally free, so if you already own it, you get that upgraded functionality for free, and, of course, that the regular tagline, like, there's never been a better time to join in. I also saw a similar ad for PSO2, so maybe I'm confusing them. But either way, I can tell you that lately, No Man's Sky has been getting a lot better and better, and I've been enjoying playing it more lately. Built a base and all that kind of stuff. Was able to play with other people I know who play it, which is something you couldn't do before. Nice in that way.
Sweet.
Upgrading my ships and such.
Did you or Malachi get anything for these recent sales?
No, I'm kind of with Malachi on that, and that I generally don't participate in them. I definitely am not leaving my house. What, Mel?
Yeah, I'm not. If anything, I'll probably be buying stuff on Cyber. Like, I'll be keeping track of sales for PlayStation and Steam, but I'm not going out to purchase anything.
I mean, all the stuff I bought was online.
Yeah, same.
But
I forgot to mention that when I did the Black Friday shopping, I also got some bookshelves for the new house, so that was nice.
Yeah, no, there's just, it's very infrequent that there's stuff I feel I need, so, unless I'm, like, already, like you were looking for new monitors, unless I already had something in mind, I'm not generally gonna go and look for stuff, to buy. Steam sales
it's a weird thing to do, to just go to the sale and peruse, which is what they think people are going to do, but that's not what people do.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, sweet, Black Friday, I need to get a new monitor.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on sale on Steam.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, and I'm very much I don't like having physical stuff around if I can avoid it. So, I only have digital media anymore.
Same. I wanted to say something to Malachi. Malachi, sometimes when I'm browsing Steam, either looking for a new game to play, usually doesn't yield anything, or something on sale, I'll recognize something that you've talked about on the podcast in the past 4 to 5 years. So that's pretty neat.
oh yeah, I play some good stuff.
I'm like, oh look, that's Neo. That was in one of our episodes, or here's this other game, Monster Hunter, or things like that.
Well, I'm although I should probably look at the sales for the Switch, because I haven't done that, because I don't have any Switch games. I actually stumbled upon a Switch not too long ago at GameStop and was able to snag it up at the original price versus paying $450 for it.
Speaking of prices, you guys know what was going on with the new PlayStation?
No.
Nope.
So a bunch of people were buying them up and trying to mark them up to 1,000. So people are just reporting them and not buying them.
Good for them. That's awesome.
The guy who was like, I want to return all this toilet paper that no one bought from me on eBay, and Walmart was like, get bent.
Yeah. Those people that bought up all of the hand sanitizer and everything, stocked it in a warehouse, and then tried to price gouge, and instead got the whole thing confiscated.
Yeah, I think it was hand sanitizer. But it was also TP. Like, they were putting it on eBay, and the best thing to do when people do that is just don't buy it.
Yep.
Same thing happens in Magic, but you can't choose not to buy a card you need, so it's kind of a problem.
Oh, you can. It's just you choose not to.
If you're competitive and you want to actually win, then you go for it, which is kind of why I've kind of fallen off from all that anyway. But still, that thing happens all the time. That one guy who's got a punchable face who bought up insulin and then marked it up.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He for a while was he wanted to mess with Magic the Gathering, and we're like, no.
Oh crap! That reminds me. I should see if I can hunt down that last Godzilla card I don't have. I have all the Godzillas.
Oh yeah, the one
Gojira.
that the monster one from last year that says Godzilla on it.
Yep, all of them. I have Mothra. I have all of them except for the only one I don't have is the multi-headed. What's his name? Do you remember the multi-headed dragon's name in
Hydra.
Godzilla? No, it's not Hydra. It's
Mecha Hydra.
No. Oh hell.
Ultimate Hydra.
Uh,
Here's a fun thing while he's looking that up. The card that one of the Godzillas was taking the place of, like if you played it, it was legally playable as this card. What they did was they had the legal name of the card underneath the Godzilla name. And
Oh,
there was one
MTG
called-
Hydra. Got you. Or MTG Godzilla. Sorry.
Yeah. In Magic the Gathering, Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, they had a whole bunch of Godzilla variants that were just stand-ins. They were alters, essentially sold by Wizards of actual legal cards. So you would have the Godzilla name followed by the mana cost, and then you would have the legal name of the card, and then you would have all the abilities of that legal card. So there was one called Void Beckoner that the Godzilla version was called Space Godzilla Death Corona,
Right.
and they had to do a second printing where he was called Space Godzilla Void Invader
Yep.
because Death Corona had bad timing because the pandemic had just hit.
Yup. I recall that.
I actually have that one.
You have the first print.
I mean,
Yeah,
at the same time, it was like, get that they're like, oh, this could read bad. It's like, at the same time, why care? Corona is just crown. That's all it means.
Well, remember when people stopped drinking Corona beer because they're idiots?
I didn't remember that, but I also know nothing about alcohol.
People who
so yeah,
stopped-
the
What
go
about
ahead.
that?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
There were people who stopped drinking Corona beer because they were like, "Oh, coronavirus, Corona beer." It's like, okay, did you graduate high school or what?
Sometimes they didn't.
and what's sad is it's not
It's all a hoax.
the so the card. The only card I'm missing out of all the monsters is King Ghidorah.
Irora.
Yeah, so that's the only one I'm missing, and I have all the other ones they printed.
I thought there was something similar to that name, but had an N on it. I thought it was like King Gatoran or something like that.
Gidanra.
I don't know that one.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Well, before we run out of time, I want to know how ALR is going. Everybody loves Riken.
Maybe I was mistaking the H for an N. That's why.
How is ELR going, Riken?
How is it going, Malachi?
I don't know, Riken. What have you done for Yukikaze lately?
He gave you his aura to try and save you from death.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one who died?
I'm dying.
Yes.
Well, I am technically dead, but if the party hustles, there may be a small glimpse of hope that I will be able to continue.
He can bounce back from it.
Basically, we have a minute.
So if you want a suspenseful episode, don't miss the next Everyone Loves Riken. There may be another player death within the story.
Yeah, hopefully by that time I'll have this fixed because I see Twitch through my Xbox, and apparently Twitch. I have Twitch downloaded through my external.
No! What? How did you do that?
Probably because when I downloaded the app, like everything I've downloaded just goes to the external because that's how I set it, and so it downloaded to the external when I downloaded it, and So now when I try to open it, it comes up with the same thing.
You did this on purpose. You just don't like me.
What do you mean? This is right. It's time to shine. He's gonna kill the monster because it has the right damage type now.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna save Yukikaze, and everyone's gonna toss a coin to the Riken because he's the greatest champion ever.
Everyone.
You'll never not hear that song ever again, Mr. Music Man.
It's O Valley of everyone because everyone likes Riken.
Ah,
But yeah, so
I completely forgot the name of that song when I just came up with an offhand name for an inn, and Guaco won't let me live it down now.
What's the name of the inn?
I called it the Valley of Plenty. I totally forgot. Like it was just like, yeah, that seems like a reasonable name for an inn in a place where nobody wants to be. So you make it sound like a really nice place. I didn't know why it jumped into my head, and then Guaco was like, "Isn't that you mean like the Witcher song?" I'm like, "Damn it, is that where that's in my head?" But yeah, the creature became gold at the end of where we ended the session. So he's hopeful.
I mean, we're hoping it's the right one.
We're hoping that means radiant.
Yeah. Until I use it, and then Tristan's like, "Yeah, by the way, it doesn't do anything."
Only one way to find out.
So if I remember correctly, how your game is going, we're going into session 3 of fighting a big old monster that's getting more and more.
4.
Oh,
it's not my fault. I think it's a worthwhile, like, this is, you would if you wanted to have a plot point in your story be like there's a war to be fought, you would want that to go on for multiple sessions to really get the feel of this is a big battle. So this one was they needed to, encounter the beast and see how horrifying it was. Then they needed to figure out how they could actually hurt it. And then then it was, once they understood the mechanic, they had to translate, they basically had to translate the colors into damage types. And now they're in the home stretch. They know almost all of the different colors it can change to and what damage types they translate to. And they just have a bit of health left to whittle through. And it's good.
We're almost there.
They're almost there, and now people are running out of HP. So it's like, it's kind of, honestly, it's a totally homebrewed monster, but the way it's panned out, other than the amount of time it has taken, I don't think it could have gone better. Like, for balance of how the monster is going down and how the party is running out of resources, I think that it couldn't have balanced out better than it has. I'm very, as a DM, I'm very pleased with how it's balanced out.
That can be especially difficult considering that the suggested monsters and monster manuals tend to be like, oh, you're supposed to balance it to this particular number, and then at least in 3.5, it's plan on them doing 3 of these encounters a day, and so forth. It's really hard to have a good balanced monster that's one encounter monster.
Yeah, solo, and one encounter days, so that means your one encounter that day needs to be a deadly encounter. Rather than having a bunch of, like, an easy encounter, a medium encounter, and a hard encounter. We keep cutting you off, Alex. I'm so sorry.
I was just going to say that we might have been able to get to the point where we would have at least killed it but we had to hard stop.
It's true, but I at the same time, I don't mind I like keeping the sessions down to 3 hours. Like, I'm glad that we got through the Lich in one go, but that was like a 5-hour session to get through all of that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that because we were at the point, like, I think in the order that we were, I was only like 2 turns away.
Yeah, we ended on Laramendis, and I think it's Laramendis and then you.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see. By my estimation, If people do like figure out the weaknesses and do the damage they've normally been doing, I think it'll probably survive 2, maybe 3 more hits. If somebody really feels they know what it is and are able to hit it with something good, they could kill it in one hit, I think.
What? You don't think that Lycan's going to kill it?
I mean, he might. I'm saying that there is a possibility. This is just my estimation. Anything could happen. Like, I could not have guessed that when Vendar finally got poison to roll on the thing, it would make it save and he would roll low. I really thought that he was going to just, like, blast through a ton of its HP, and he ended up not blasting through near as much as I anticipated.
Well, get ready for a level 3 smite.
Level 7 smite.
I wish I could do level 7 smite.
If you go by the book, you can't even do level 6 smites. But I don't go by the book.
I thought the highest that paladins go up to is level 5 spell.
Whatever their
slots.
highest is, which I thought was 6, what if it's 5? Whatever your highest level spell slot, according to the book, you can't use that one for smite. And I'm like, why? Yeah, like the book only describes using up to a 4th level smite, and I'm just like, there's no reason for that. You can use a 5th level smite. That's a stupid rule.
That's dumb.
It's dumb. It's dumb. Yeah, throwback.
Yeah, Christmas episodes.
I do miss those segments.
Yeah, 5th is the highest level.
I'll make sure we do one for this Christmas.
Yay!
Yay!
And, for a quick summary for Valinaria, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention or is just randomly tuning in and hasn't listened to recent episodes, which I think is the same thing as not paying attention, the heroes of a random farm with a few kobolds in it who got a parade in their honor, they're now being asked to deal with a vampire problem. On the one hand, kobolds. On the other hand, vampire. So what we're picking up with tomorrow's session is them deciding, are they going to do this? When? How? I don't know what to expect with this session.
Shenanigans. You should expect shenanigans.
Because I also kind of expect them to just sort of back away slowly.
I mean, a vampire could be overly deadly for us, but we don't know that.
Yeah, I intend to encourage some information gathering and counsel from people who are knowledgeable in these matters. Then maybe they can make this decision with the proper in-game knowledge. But that's where we're at. I don't know what to prepare. I just know my world and my characters, and I'm just going to roll with it.
That's all we can do.
Alex, we're getting a new druid in the group, and that means that they know your druid.
What? I got a friend.
Yeah, you have a friend. Bree's
Or is
character
it a-
has...
Is it a frenemy?
I don't know. It's a druid who went on their pilgrimage about 6 months ago, 3 to 6 months ago, and then enrolled in a monk monastery. So now this character is going on a double pilgrimage as a monk and as a druid. But no doubt you knew that character because they're from the Great Forest. Bree's character is deliciously awkward. Went into an unknown city by herself and went, well, I like that fountain. Water's pretty great. We need water to live. I think I'll go to the fountain.
And then made friends.
To Darnelios.
Darnelios is probably the best restaurant ever.
Only one so far, but still. Well, except for the tavern that threw the free party for you.
I mean, this whole town of suck-ups is, like, wearing.
Yeah.
Gaz is just like, let's not be here anymore.
I mean, they're definitely taking advantage of you. They're like, hey, now you can take care of the vampire.
Totally.
Not, hey, could we hire you to take care of the vampire? They're like, now that you're our heroes, you're going to take care of the vampire, right?
Yeah.
Get a painting of you and everything.
It's true. They do. They have a painting for us now.
On display in, I believe, Town Hall. So that's where we're at. Come listen to the episode. If you're listening to this live, that means you can listen to it live tomorrow. And if you're not, then just go find the archive.
Go find the archive.
Go listen to the one shot that you guys did too.
That was fun.
I plan on listening to it tomorrow.
That was super
Yay!
fun.
You get to hear me do a bad French accent.
That we both have.
But alright. We definitely watched the one shot. It was funny. It was interesting. I'm a little worried about the party. They were an interesting group of people.
Well, you never know. We might do more one-shots in the future that may or may not incorporate elements from the first one. The world, the characters, anything. You never know.
Never know. That's the nature of one-shots. Alright. Shall we get us the flip out of here?
Yeah, I was going to ask Malachi what the next order of business was, but he already did it.
He did. He got a jump on it.
He got the flip out of
He
here.
flipped out.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good night.
Hashtag good night.
Good night.
I was watching some Caleb City videos on YouTube, and he was doing the superhero auditions or interviews. And one guy says, I can turn myself invisible. He's like, oh, that's awesome. He says, yeah, the trick is I have to do a backflip to activate it. He goes, okay, what's the problem? And he's like, I can't do a backflip. He's like, what? So he does a backflip, turns invisible, and you hear a crack, and he starts groaning, and there's blood on the floor.
Oh, no. It kind of reminds me of the 1999 film Mystery Men, where Kel Mitchell was playing the Invisible Boy, who could only become invisible if no one was looking at him.
Aren't we all?
Oh yeah.